What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to another episode. Yesterday we had Leroy. Today it's just going to be me sharing with you guys. But today's topic is going to be something really, really interesting. It's about sales, it's about how do you navigate through sales conversation, how do you get a client to be interested in working with you and eventually seeing you as the best solution among your competitors. So if that's you, stay tuned, gentlemen. I am about to share with you things that I've learned over the past 5 years selling software, selling website, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of things that you can learn from me. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Fix Collab Behind the Scene. I'm your host, Fitri Joroji. I bring you a daily live stream. We try to bring you daily, but we bring you news related to tech. We share with you things about running a software development company. I founded Fix Collab, hence the name Fix Collab. So Fix Collab is a software development company here in Kuala Lumpur. We do from websites to mobile apps to web applications. And obviously, this show is not about talking about those things, but this show is more about, I use, this is my tea time, 4 to 5. So I bring you guys this live stream to kind of make sure that you guys are updated on what's going on in terms of the tech world. Kind of just have conversations with some of my team members. If they're not here, they're not free, then I'll do it myself. And yeah, guys, so if you are if you're watching from Facebook, show me some love, like, share. If you are watching from YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit subscribe. If you are watching from LinkedIn, thank you so much. And in today's video, in today's sharing session, what I'll share with you guys is about sales, about how do you navigate through this whole selling thing, right? And just give a perspective. I started off running my own business in 2016, right? I started off obviously as a freelancer where I was just doing side projects for people. I was doing their websites. And obviously, when I first started, I didn't know anything. I did not know much about sales. And a lot of times, people thought that sales is all about seeing the right thing. People think that sales is all about talking about the feature. So hold on, I'm getting a comment here that says can't really hear me. Let me just make sure my microphone is working. I hope it's working right now. Yeah, I can see it's working. So we talk about sales, right? When I first started, obviously I didn't know. I thought it was just all about talking about the features, bragging about how you're better than everybody else, with the hope that eventually they'll choose you. And it's none of your fault if you don't know about sales. A lot of times our perception towards sales is this guy who's constantly pushy. I'm pretty sure you have friends out there who constantly calls you because they want you to buy something from them. They want you to join a multi-level marketing scheme that they have, and because of those, your perception towards sales is wrong. I wouldn't say wrong, distorted. You think that the sales is all about saying the wrong thing, manipulating people into doing what you want them to do. So it all changed obviously when I didn't know about this, right? Obviously I started reading a lot about sales. I read a lot of Tom Hopkins book. I read about what we call that, Grant Cardone book about sales, and everyone seems to have a different methodology. Everybody have their own way when it comes to selling. And ultimately, after along the journey of selling, I met somebody, and then he I'm very, very interested in the way how he sells, because at the end of the day, if you are not sold yourself, you won't be able to sell. Because at the core of it, selling is just recommending things. Whether you realize it or not, you are actually, when you talk to your friends, right? Most of the time, whether you realize it or not, you are actually selling. You can just look back and realize that, hey, how many times that I actually recommend things to my friends? And if you track back those conversations, whether you realize it or not, that is actually the 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 thing that you tell them, how you tell them, the intonation that you use when you tell them. Those are actually the key things that you need to implement when you want to sell, right? So let's break that down. A lot of times when we want to first start selling, our mindset is all about, okay, I have to talk about this product. It's about this product, not about the customer. And when you have that mindset, a lot of time what happens is you will want to just talk as fast as you can. You will want to just vomit everything that you can, because you're on this mindset where, okay, I have 5 minutes, I have to say everything that I can and make sure customer hear everything that I have to say so that he can make decision at the end of my presentation. If you have that mindset, here's the bad news. You will have hard time selling. Let me repeat that. You are going to have very difficult time to sell. Because right now it's all about shoving my ideology. I have this mindset. Okay, I need to talk about A, B, C, D, how we cool, the history about our company, our packages, and then yes or no, and then ask you make a decision. You are in a serious reality check. So what's the right way of doing it if you ask? So when you are operating in this mindset, you have to start changing. Selling is about figuring out what are the problems that the other person is having. When you start seeing it like this, you start behaving like a doctor. You see, you don't really go to a clinic and then uh, go see the doctor and not tell the doctor anything. In fact, it's very rarely that you meet a doctor that see you. I mean, imagine I'm a doctor. You come into my room and then I didn't ask you any questions. I just look at you, and then I tell you, okay, I think you need this pills, and get out of my face and pay me. How would you feel? Obviously, it's not going to be feeling. I mean, you're not going to feel good about it. You will feel as if that the doctor is not listening to you guys. So, I covered this with Leroy yesterday. We talked about the power of asking questions. You see, a lot of times as human being, we love it when people ask us questions. We as human being love it when people ask for our opinion, because then we feel that, okay, this guy actually cares about me. This guy wants to listen to what I have to say. So when you start off your sales presentation with literally just asking, yapping about how cool your business is, you've been in business for 5, 10, 15 years, and then you have done all this so and so, what you're doing is actually you are telling the audience that, hey, this is not about you. All I care is how cool I am, and I want your money. And how do you feel if you are at the other side of the table hearing all this? You're not going to pay. All you want to do is you just want to run away, because you feel that, okay, this guy is just, they're here for the sake of getting my money. They're here for the sake of shoving their product into my face and not care about me. So you have to switch that into, okay, what is the problem with this person? What's the problem that they're having that I can solve? And 9 times out of 10, I can tell you, when you operate from this mindset, you'll always have problems that you could solve with with your product. And here's the best part. When I started, so before this, right, what changed was that every time when I meet a prospect, I will feel the need that I need to explain. I will feel the need that I have to do a presentation. Hey, let me talk about myself. Until one incident where I was meeting this gentleman. He's a pretty famous dude in the tech industry, and he was already convinced by the work that I've done, right? So I met him for the first time, and I thought that I need to explain. So I went ahead and tell the guy, hey, would you mind if I just explain a little bit about what I do? You see, out of courtesy, a lot of people would say, yes, obviously, go ahead. But when you start explaining about all these things about you, people just tune out because it's nothing to do with them. When they tune out, do you think they'll be able to connect to you emotionally? They won't. So, out of courtesy, this guy obviously said, okay, go ahead. But then I thought that the longer I explain, the longer I tell this story, I mean, the more polished the story that I tell to him, the more convinced become. I was wrong. Halfway through, he stopped me. He's like, hey, hold on. Dude, just tell me how much you need. That was when I had this huge reality shock. Let's call it shock. Because I felt the need that I have to explain myself to these people. But then here's a guy who's ready to just pay. He's ready to just pay. Just name me a price, I'll pay. And that was when I started realizing, hey, actually, I don't have to explain about myself. And if you notice, a lot of these guys, a lot of people who are sought after, they are well paid. These are the guys that don't really explain about what they do. It's because people are already creating a word of mouth about him that is so powerful that people just naturally want to throw money at him. So that was huge for me. So when I stopped explaining about myself and get right to the question. So a lot of times when you're doing sales, when you're doing if you're in this agency, if you're in industry, people reach out to you, they already know that you are an expert. Otherwise they won't reach out to you. Okay? And when they reach out to you, instead of taking the first few minutes explaining what's cool about you, why don't you ask them like a doctor, hey, what brought you here? So tell me, what's the intention that you want to have this call with me? Hey, so could you just give me a little bit of background of what you are trying to solve here? You see, when you start the conversation in that manner right away, you're giving the stage to the client, the prospect. And when the client have the stage, not only they feel that, okay, this guy wants to listen to out to me, you are giving all the spotlight to him and he's going to feel good and he's going to feel as if that this person actually is the right person for him. Isn't it funny? All you have to do is just let the other person speak. You don't really have to brag about yourself. You don't really have to explain about why you're cool. But all you have to do is to just get the other person to speak, to actively listen, to bite your tongue whenever you feel that you have to add into what the person has to say. These are the huge thing that I've learned, guys. A lot of times when I speak to somebody and I see that the other person is already interjecting, not really, a lot of people do it because they feel that they have to add something there. But in reality, you don't have to add something. You just have to give the other person the spotlight. And the other person will feel that, okay, this guy appreciate the fact that he let me speak. And that is when he start trusting you. He start feeling this almost unexplainable, something that you cannot explain. That's why when you're good at listening, a lot of times you'll be a good salesperson because all you have to do is to just ask questions. Hey, what happened? So first, forget about talking about yourself. You have to shift that mindset from, hey, what can I sell today, to how can I help this guy? What is the problem that they have? Then your mindset will just be in this probing mode. You'll wear this hat of an interviewer where all you do now is just asking all these questions and then giving the spotlight to the other person. And then you are 50% already in the sales process. I kid you not. You start like this, a lot of times you are already winning the deal. You just have to get the other person to speak. So the next one, if you start off the sales conversation not really getting the other person to speak, the chances of you closing the deal is going to be less because the other person haven't explained much about their misery, the problems, how is it affecting their lives to you that they feel vulnerable to work out this deal with you. A lot of times when a person wants something, obviously because they are struggling in some sort of ways, and because that part of his life is struggling, let's say my business is not doing well, and then I reach out to you, and then you ask me how can I help. Then I say my business is not doing well, and then all you do is just, okay, your business is not doing well. I have this program. It's a 5 weeks program. You just have to sign up. We'll figure out about how to finance the whole project. What do you want to do? Do you want to do it now or later? A lot of times when you do that, the other person will still feel that, okay, this person doesn't really care about my business. But if you are the other person who go an extra mile to really understand, okay, how is that, you say your business is not doing well, like how is that affecting your life? Guy will just say, okay, it's actually very stressful because when I come back home, uh things at home are not, I can't maintain my emotions at home. I'm very reactive because things are not well. A lot of times these are the questions that we don't ask. We are scared to go there. We are scared to ask these kind of questions because as human being, we are told to not care about people. We are told to not, in Malay they have these proverbs that say you don't have to jaga tepi kain orang. It means that you don't have to be a busybody to know about my personal life. But as a salesperson, that is what is going to separate you from the other guy who's pitching the same thing. Because the rest of the guys will only talk about, okay, this is how I can solve your problem. Yes, a business is all about solving problem. But if you can put one foot further by going into, okay, how is this problems affecting your life? Like, let's not talk about business. I want to know you. I mean, I want to understand from a human to human level here. How is that affecting your well-being? I can understand that running business is not easy. There's a lot of things that goes in your head. So how is that affecting your life? And 9 times out of 10, you will see a different side of the person. The person will just be super vulnerable and expose things that, the underlying things that you can use to eventually get them sold on you. So when you have the let's call it, you have the guts to go there, the extra mile. When it comes to asking question, you are 100% better than everybody else. You are already ahead of all the other salesperson because all they do is just, yeah, I want to ask all the surface level questions because those are in my sales script, and then I don't want to even go there. I just want to end the call as fast as I can. I want to get to the point of, hey, do you want to do this deal or not with me? If it's not, then bye bye, I'll move on to the next person. But when you're able to tap into a person's deeper motive, when you're able to get the person to tell you about, hey, actually, the reason why I want to all do this because I just want to give a better life to my family, man. You see, it's a different sort of conversation. And once I start understanding this, I realized that, hey, having a heart to heart conversation is what it takes to close deal. It's not really about, hey, I can help you do this product, I can help you build this thing, it's going to be this much, and trust me, we're the best. And because our track record, because but rather, if you're the person who understands the client the deepest, they'll feel that, okay, I found a brother and I can trust this person. And even if you ask for a higher price, you'll be in a position where, because let's say, imagine that I had this conversation with you, that I want to help you because I want to change your life. I want to help you because I want to make sure that you can give the best life to your family. Compared to the other person who just, hey, I want to give you this piece of technology because so that you can make more sales and solve your problem. Now, what I'm solving is I'm giving you a solution to a better life. The other person is just giving a solution to a better numbers, a better revenue. Who do you think will, like, imagine if he charged the other person 1 million and then I charged the person 5 million, the other person will make sense out of it because, okay, he's asking 5 million because the things that he's going to do is something that can really help me. All because I went there, all because I had that conversation that nobody else want to have. So that is another thing that is huge. Number two. All right. So number one, you have to change your mindset from just talking about yourself to asking questions. And number two, you have to have the balls to Go there. And these are the things that I can tell you you will never learn in any business books. I am a business graduate. Nobody told me about this. It's something that, at one point I just got fed up following a script. I just got fed up trying to memorize, okay, I should start with this and then say these things and then do this and do that, and not really feel that, hey, that's natural. It doesn't really, because a lot of times when you follow all these scripts, what end up happening is that you don't really feel good about yourself because it's not you. Every human being to me have their own way, have their own DNA, right? What feels good to me may not feel good to you. What do I find fascinating might not be fascinating to you. So it was when I was in this mode of constantly looking for, okay, what's the best way of doing it. And then I realized that, hey, the best way of doing it is to just be a human being, to just be a human being who cares about the other person, a human being who wants to have a heart-to-heart conversation, a human being who talks about human values instead of monetary values. That was when I started to realize that conversations become almost effortless. I was no longer following scripts. I was no longer really understanding. It was never about how much money can I charge, but rather, hey, is this a problem that I can really solve? If it's not something that I cannot solve, I will respectfully turn them down. And it just makes you feel good. And you start changing your mindset about selling. It's no longer about scamming people, trying to say the right thing, but rather, hey, I just am here to help. I am just here because I'm a good human being and I want to help. So those two, if you start implementing it on conversations, guys, you will be way ahead of the rest of your sales colleague out there. You go to any of these banks and all, and you call them, the moment they pick up the phone, hey, how can I help? Hi, I'm calling from this blah 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 bank. Just want to ask, are you using credit card right now? Yes, they're asking questions. But why does it sound? Why do you feel that when you hear that you just want to run away? Because you can smell the instinct from miles away that, okay, these guys just want to shove me the credit card, right? So those are the second one. The third one is a huge, I wouldn't call it secret, a huge belief that you have to slowly take into is the fact that you have to be sold in order for you to be able to sell. A lot of times, I want to think that everyone have the natural ability to sell because you're already doing it when you recommend things to your friend, when you talk to your spouse, when your best buddy is about, hey, I was using this freaking mouse, it's one of the best mouse I had, you do use it, blah blah blah. That's actually selling. It's just that a lot of times you're not sold on the things that you are trying to sell. And this is something that a lot of people out there struggle with because, yeah, I'm in this job just for money. I don't care whether the company has good product or don't, but I'm just gonna try and sell it. Okay, now if you are currently not convinced with the product that you sell, here's the trick. Ask yourself, okay, what about, okay, now that by right I'm not sold on this product, but what about it that makes me feel at least I can justify the ask? At least it makes sense to me. So a lot of times for me, what has helped a lot is, the company grew rapidly when we were able to start asking for higher and higher prices, and when we start understanding, hey, actually this is what's the difference between a project that costs 1 billion and a project that costs 1,000 when the end result is the same. So we start digging into that and then realize that, okay, a lot of times the higher price is not really justified with features, but it's justified with service. It's justified with uh, the depth of problem that you're trying to solve. So when I start understanding that, I realized that you just have to figure out how do you justify the number. Let's imagine. Okay, let's this mouse. All right, it's retailing at 400 ringgit, and I want to sell it to somebody else for 800, twice the price. A lot of times, it's going to be very hard for me because, dude, there is no way someone want to buy from me when they can get the same exact thing cheaper if they buy online. But if they buy online, they would have to wait, right? And imagine if you can find somebody who is in desperate need for a mouse that they cannot wait for a week or two to buy a new mouse, and they're willing to pay, right? So how do you justify an asking price that is higher than the original, the retail price? So you have to convince yourself. You have to deep down make yourself feel that, okay, if this person, let's say, he's doing a project that will give him 1 million, right? What's wrong with just spending an 800 ringgit on something that will definitely help you today so that you can get that million the very next day? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just 800 ringgit. So when you deep down feel macam, if you feel like, oh, that makes sense, you'll be able to justify that to him. Look, yes, I agree that you can get this cheaper anywhere else, but I know how much time means to you right now. You see, now I'm no longer selling this mouse. I'm selling the convenience of time. I can sell it to you for 800 bucks. You pay it now, I'll give it to you. You can right away kickstart the project and get it done on time. And I know how much this project means to you. So the reason why I was able to say it smoothly was because deep down inside I was sold on it. If somebody comes to me, if I'm desperate, imagine that's me, the other person is me, I would pay for that 800 bucks because I'm desperate, I need it now. So if you're not sold on the price that you're asking, a lot of times it's always about the price, right? Because when you're in a service-based business, sometimes you're asking something that you naturally feel a little bit shaky. You'll be like, I'm not sure whether I should charge this much. But then once you start practicing that, once you start being conscious of constantly increasing your price, that is when you'll be able to build an enterprise. That's when you'll be able to hire more people and build greater things. So, three things, guys. Number one, change your mindset from talking to asking. All right, that's huge. And number two, you have to have the balls to go to that human to human conversation. And number three, you have to find ways on how you can convince yourself. And if you constantly do these three things every time you have a sales conversation, trust me, you will feel as if you've unlocked a superpower because everyone else is following scripts. And here you are just trying to be human being. And the thing about being human is a lot of times it's already deep rooted in us. It will make you feel alive. It will make you feel that, hey, I'm actually doing something really good. And you don't feel bad about it. So yeah, guys, do those three things, and they help me a lot. And it's something that I continuously teach all my team, and we implement that a lot. And yeah, that probably is the reason why we can sell. We are not very script based driven. If we can't establish that human to human connection, 9 times out of 10, we will not get the deal. But if we are able to go there 9 times out of 10, we will get the deal. So I hope this short sharing session is beneficial for you guys. And it certainly has been a game changer for me and my team. And if you find value in this sharing, please do share it to people, tag your friends, save this. You can watch this over and over again. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. I will get in touch again. Bye bye.